February 20th. Marched at 7 a.m., passing Sanderson Station again at 12 meridian, eating from our haversacks, no coffee to be had. At 2 p.m., cavalry became skirmishing with the rebel forces. At 3:30 p.m., the Battle of Ulusty was begun. Our brigade's Bartons were at once formed in the line of battle and advanced at double quick, charging the rebel lines. We afterwards were entrenched. We're in the edge of the woods, ambushed in crescent-shaped line, we in the open. We were immediately under a galling fire, which we returned in kind. We were unable to drive them or advance further, but we held the field for 1.5 hours at 6 p.m. We were forced by our superior numbers. We had 6,000, they 15,000, to begin march. We retreated, leaving our killed and seriously wounded, who fell into the rebel hands. The loss of my regiment was 280 in officers and men. My Co-D lost 4 men, killed Sergeant Levi Lungfelter, cousin of our Captain Peter, Abe Fobish, Roderick F. Barlow, and Edward Smith, all shot in the head and instantly killed. 22 men wounded. Regiment lost 9 officers and 270 men killed and wounded, and did not fall back until our ammunition was exhausted. I had been ill for a week with fever and ague. Was calling on the surgeon when the skirmishes began. He, Dr. McFarland, dismounting, put me on his horse. He walking, we reached the front just as my regiment was beginning the line of battle. Joining my comrades, I was at once in the midst of conflict, from which it was my good fortune to escape without injury. We fought 2.5 hours, losing half of our command. Again without rest, we in the ranks, broken and demoralized, began to retreat to avoid capture, not halting until we reached Barber's Station, which we reached at 2:30 a.m. the 21st, having made 32 miles without rest and living from our haversacks. I found myself sick and very tired. The bodies of Lieutenants William Tompkins and Levi Schaefer we left on the field, together with about 85 killed and wounded of enlisted men. It was with great regret that we left our severely wounded to fall in the rebel hands. Among them was Corporal Daniel Grant, whose discharge from service was awaiting him at his home of his 2 brothers from a disease, leaving his widowed mother alone on the homestead farm near Amsterdam, New York. He, with others, was thrown into the rebel prison at Andersonville, and after surviving its miseries for 10 months was finally exchanged, reaching his home a living skeleton. Dr. Charles Devendorf of Amsterdam, surgeon of the 48th in New York, who remained on the battlefield to care for our wounded, was declared by the rebel vandals also a prisoner, and sent south to prison, but afterwards liberated. He said our command gave the rebels such a smashing fight that they were in panic and never showed up on the battle line until the morning of 21st. We would have given them more if our ammunition held out longer. The 115th was complimented for heroic and brave service. Colonel Simon Sammons for unusual bravery, he remaining on his horse after twice wounded seriously in step of foot. When the commanding general of our brigade saw the day was lost to save capture, ordered to fall back with the face to the enemy. Colonel Sammons, to avoid a stampede, was riding along his line, explaining the reason for the order to fall back. February 23rd and 24th. We remained for recuperation at Barber's Station, the rebels having lost so heavily in the battle that they may not attempt to follow us. We made our knapsacks had been scattered about by soldiers looking for their own. We, the survivors, after claiming our own, before leaving burned what was left to them from the contamination of rebel hands, who are murderers and bandits and outlaws. It is to be regretted that we have to allow them the favors of honorable warfare. It is now seen that the Secretary of War at Washington misunderstood the situation and made the mistake of sending too small a force and under command of incompetent Commodore General Seymour. Another unnecessary slaughter and nothing gained for our cause. While dreading the onslaught, the excitement of battle so engaged my attention that I did not realize my peril, and now it all seems like a hideous dream, rather than authorized warfare.